of the order of August 1st, 2019, imposing a hotel occupancy tax for Wilson County to conform to the tax code.
I'll make a motion to approve the order dated August, or excuse me, to the amendment to the order imposing an occupancy tax that was initially issued on August of 2019 to impose a hotel occupancy tax for Wilson County to conform to the tax code.
Motion made by Commissioner Morton, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 15A? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item 15B, it is recommended that we take no action and we do a little bit more, allow the county attorney to amend the application or do whatever needs to be done on it, and then we get back to them in the next court. Okay. Yes. I believe we're now at agenda item 18. Ms. Barnett, tax assessor collector, county tax assessor collector monthly report.
That was emailed to each of y'all a couple of weeks ago, and that's just to go into the minutes.
Okay. Commissioner, if you want to take a few minutes to look that over. I guess they've already looked at it. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Agenda item number 19, Christina Moose, County Treasurer, discuss take action on the County Treasurer's financial report. Ms. Moose.
Good afternoon. You will have in your folder the my treasury report for May 2026. As always, follows, you'll see the checking accounts with any debits and credits for that month, followed with our CDs. Then our investments with text pool and text class. Followed with any outstanding debt. Nothing, of course, on the top part, the bottom of the lease purchases, you'll see that the last one I listed for precinct 2 has been paid. So 0 remaining amounts that will come off. And then ending with the treasurer's monthly report labeled for the month of May for each fund with beginning balance and debits and credits, and then the ending balance for that fund for the month of May, sorry. Not November, it's not doing it. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions, Ms. Moose? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, I'm sorry, I'll ask for the vote, sorry.
I'm sorry, I do have one question. Yeah, so were you able to figure out what we could do about moving that interest-bearing account into an interest-bearing account?
Yes, what we've decided, me and Kristen have talked about it, in my honest opinion, the best going forward with any type of grant, and you will see that will be added to the next Commissioner's Court agenda, is opening a non-bearing interest account with the bank for any grants that can't have the interest earned. From there, any grants that we do apply that are awarded, we will then open a sub-account within our Texas class to earn interest that way, which obviously the rate is better going forward. So we have, I guess, both areas covered for any grant that we apply for. If it's non-interest, we have that account open with the bank. And then anything that we can earn interest with, like the one that's coming up, or, excuse me, my brain, the one we were just talking about.
Well, the interest money that's coming out. of it.
Yes, and, for that one, that would be a sub-account within Texas cost. So next month, y'all, or next Commissioners Court, we will add that to the agenda for y'all to discuss or see. But going forward, I think that's the best, solution for any type of grants.
Okay, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 19.
I'll make a motion on accepting county treasurer's financial report.
Sorry.
All in here, that on that side. Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 19? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 20, Jaylen Bodiford, Human Resource Specialist, presentation of payroll and personnel changes. Nothing to report, thank you. Agenda item number 21, we move to Kristen Davis, interim county auditor, discussion only fiscal year 2024-2025 external audit presentation by Robert Carter, Leal, and Carter PC.
Yes, each year county undergoes an independent external audit to ensure the accuracy of our financial statements in compliance with applicable accounting standards. Today, Robert Carter with Leal and Carter PC is here to present the 2024-2025 audit results and answer any questions that the county may have.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
You'll have a 3-page letter inside the audit report. I'm going to go over that first. That's the required communication with governance. It summarizes the results of the audit under significant audit matters. There was one change in the accounting pronouncement, not necessarily, the accounting policies didn't change, but the GASB pronouncement, it's GASB Statement 101 was adopted in this fiscal year. It was required to be adopted, resulting in an increase in the amount of compensated absences eligible for accrual. So you guys have a policy for your comp time. So basically this does is basically just takes more conservative route as far as how much you're supposed to accrue for as far as showing, reflecting the liability. So I think in the past, I think you would vest the vacation, and now they're telling you, any unused sick time you also accrue. So you'll see that in these financial statements. Your accounting estimates listed there, these are the same as in prior years, no changes in the accounting estimates. Page 2. Difficulties encountered performing the audit. I know this was an unusual year, so I want to commend Christina Brisbane. We required a lot of information from the audit, so I do appreciate their help. I believe that we tried to do it as much as timely as possible under the circumstances. So again, I want to thank you guys, both of y'all, for your time and effort. Under corrected, uncorrected misstatements, all uncorrected misstatements have been posted. There are no uncorrected misstatements on these set of financials. I'm also required to attach those to you. They're attached to the documentation here. There were, I guess, nine in all. The first adjustment is just for financial statement reporting purposes. It consolidates the pool of cash. You guys, each individual fund has a claim on cash or an equity in cash. So when you guys are accounting for it on your fund level statements, it kind of doubles up that number. So all we do is just consolidate it. And again, this is just for financial statement reporting purposes to show the true cash picture. Adjustments 2 through 4 were adopted, or basically posting unadopted prior year adjustments that weren't reflected when they were necessary to reconcile the opening balances of the audit. Entry number 5 is we do that annually for y'all. We get the confirmations in, and depending on what those numbers are, based on what you have on the books, if they're materially misstated, we have to make an adjustment. So There's basically truing up the tax receivable per the confirmation we received. Number 6, you have that unearned revenue. This is the TDM portion. You have it in the liability account because you got the money up front. So we go and realize the revenue portion to match the expenses. Number 7 is just a reclassification in the income statement. Number 8, and there again, we validate these court fines, the receivables that are outstanding, and based on what we get from your JPs and the district court county clerk, we true up that number to reflect what that receivable number is, based on what's outstanding as of the end of fiscal year 25. And number 9 also was just an opening balance reconciliation. And back to the actual letter itself, we had no disagreements with management. We did not have a need to consult with any third parties. Nothing in this fiscal year resulted in anything we needed to get a second opinion on. We do have one finding. It's the same finding as in prior years. It's on page 66 of the audit report itself, if you want to flip to that page. So you actually, in conjunction with this audit, we also did a state single audit, because you guys went over the $1 million threshold in state expenditure, so we had to do a compliance audit on your state grants. But, so you didn't have any compliance findings on your state single audit, but there is a financial finding. The custodial fund accounting procedures on the bottom of page 66. So you have custodial funds, daily transactions and ending balances are not recorded in the general ledger. The resulting activity related to the receipts, that's your fine and fees accounts, are on the books. However, the reconciliation of the transfers from the custodial funds is not reflected in the general ledger. Due to the significant amount of these funds processed with these accounts, we recommend the county improve controls over these funds by recording on the books, the books of origination. On page 21, you can see there, we have to list them. We do confirm the ending balances with the bank. On page 21, you can see there's about 3.5 million in these accounts. And so, you know, you have the tax office funds, the district clerk, the trust funds, some county clerks, some sheriff funds. But the majority of them are the tax office and the district. So essentially, like I said, these aren't your funds, the custodial funds, are in the past we call them agency funds. And so all basically it's supposed to be an in and out mechanism. But we can't, if we don't know those particular amounts, if they're not on the books, then we can't audit them. So it's a recommendation we gave to Brenda last year. You know, I'm gonna work with Kristen this year to make sure all those are on the books going forward. And then essentially, this is just another layer of control, so to make sure that, again, you know, as far as the fiduciary responsibility of the county, to make sure those funds are maintained properly, that would be reflected in next year's audit. But I know it's time consuming, there is a lot of different funds involved, and this is on top of Kristen's job already, so like I said, what we'll do is we'll just take one fund at a time and make sure that we get them all on the books. We'll make a one-time entry to report. But like I said, it was the same finding from last year. We also did a federal examination. That's not a single audit, but that's strictly just on those TDM monies. And we did not have any exceptions on those either, Chris. Now getting back to the audit itself, the audit report is started on page 1. Page 1 is our opinion, and this is in the gray book. So for fiscal year 25, Lisbon County has an unmodified opinion on the governmental funds. This is a clean opinion. Your financial statements are fairly stated in accordance with U.S. accounting principles. The only exception is the custodial funds, which again aren't your funds, but they do need to be on the books. So that was the only exception. But otherwise, it is a clean opinion for fiscal year 25.
Before you leave that, so you want to ask some questions. So
It says, had management reported these transactions, related accounts may have been materially affected.
Mistake, right.
So, so other than the recommendation to put it in, is this need to go back and be re-entered, or what do we do moving forward?
Well, again, we're looking at a time and place as, you know, in the past. There's nothing we can do about it now, but going forward, you know, what we want to do is, all we're basically saying is we can't audit those numbers because we didn't have, they're not on the
Right.
books. And essentially, it's a fine. But, you know, going forward, you know, you can take necessary measures to make sure that we know the ins and outs of this, but we have to disclose that, just information so that you're aware of it.
Okay, so that's really, is that just simply an accounting error, or?
It's not necessarily accounting error, it's just basically, most of these counties we deal with have the same issue. It's an oversight, basically. You account for the receipts, which is a critical piece as far as defining fee revenue that gets inputted into your general fund. But as far as those, we don't know what else is in that account, as far as if there's any ins and outs that they provide monthly reports, but they're just an Excel sheet or, you know, any kind of Word document. They're not the books of origination. So it's basically just not necessarily an accounting error, but basically, you know, you need to make sure that they're posted into the books.
So, well, I guess what concerns me is said, affected accounts could be materially affected.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but it is something that, it is concerning. You do need to be aware of it. That's why I bring it to your attention.
When you made a suggestion about going forward, is there a suggestion about reviewing it in a different manner?
Right, but that's what I'm proposing is going forward. You know, starting here in the summer.
But my question is there a way to ask for or try to find out?
You can take all the bank activity for the year and go through all of it and make sure you accounted for all the debits and credits that are going in and out of these bank accounts. And then make it a journal entry to post that information. But it's essentially the county auditor's position is supposed to be reviewing that information to make sure the reports that are coming from the district court, county clerk, JP offices, that they understand those debits and credits coming in. But without them actually being on the books, there's no way for me to independently audit those numbers. But what, you know, like I said, you know, it's within the function of a county auditor, they're supposed to be reviewing that. And if there is discrepancies, they should bring it up to y'all's attention.
So are you comfortable with this recommendation going forward? Do you understand it?
Yes,
Okay.
so we do review all of the monthly reports from the tax assessor, collector, the JPs, the district clerk, county clerk. We review all of the debits and credits. The only thing that's not happening is they're not being reflected on our books. So they manage their own bank accounts. So the recommendation, the finding is that we need to start reflecting that on our books. So we would have to start with a beginning balance moving forward, and then start just adding the entries for the debits and credits for those accounts, for those custodial accounts.
You know, proceed. Okay. So on page 13 is your consolidated balance sheet. For fiscal year 25, your total assets are 44.7 million. Those primarily consist of cash equivalents of 17 million, investments of 8.6 million, tax receivables of 1.6 million, accounts receivable, that is the filing fee number, the court receivable of $522,000, and a capital assets net of depreciation are 16.9 million. Under that category are your deferred outflows. These are prepayments into the pension plans. The financial statements of the plan, you have the Texas County District Retirement System who manages these plans. Their fiscal year is December. So any contributions you make subsequent to December 24 to September 25 are essentially prepayments into the plan. That's 1.6 million. It's basically essentially an asset. Under that are your total liabilities. Those are 16.3 million, and those primarily consist of trade payables of 1.6 million. Your compensated absences, you can see where that increase in that new GASB pronouncement takes effect. It's $1 million. I think you average usually around 300,000, but when you figure in all the rest of the comp time, that's what's accrued is $1 million. The unearned revenue, that's the remaining portion, which you guys expended in 26, but the TINA money is 4.9 million. So that's still as it's shown as a liability until you spend it. And your long-term debt is that you've got current portion and long-term portion of your bonds and notes, that's 5 million. Your net pension liability is actually an asset. So again, since they value the plan as of December, any activity subsequent to that, you're still making the same contribution. So depending on how that plan performs, how the investments perform, in some cases the assets overtake the liabilities. So in this case, the plan, the Wilson County's respective portion is an actual asset of $400,000. That's why it shows as a credit. Under that, your these are other post-benefit employee benefits. You guys provide retiree benefits for health insurance and for death benefits. That liability is 3.5 million. And under that is a category called the deferred inflow. So again, since the plan is valued in December, if there are any additional accrued expenses into the plan that weren't accounted for in December, we account for them through a series of adjustments on these consolidated government-wide statements, and that number is 2.2 million in additional accrued expenses. Then the net effect of applying these assets and the prepayments against these liabilities and the accrued expenses is your net position. This is your equity. County's equity is 27.7 million. Page 14 is the consolidated government-wide income statement, and again, this is the prescribed format. I don't particularly like this format. It's not conducive for easy reading. I know you guys have seen this for several years now, but I'll just detail it out in my explanation. So for the first column are your total governmental expenses for the year. There's a 31.8 million. That number is a little different than the fund level because we do conversion entries. We capitalize your assets, which you expense for fund in your budget purposes, and then the principal portion of the debt is also capitalized. So that's why you see the difference between this number and the on the fund level statements when you do your budgets. That 31.8 million also includes 2.3 million of depreciation expense, which is a non-budgeted, non-cash item. But so for a full accrual basis, you guys have to reflect a reserve, an allowance annually for depreciating your fixed assets. And so what that 2.3 million represents basically a yearly allowance for this, any replacement costs that you're going to have on your fixed assets. Back on the top again, as far as program revenues, you have two columns. One's charges for services. That's $3,098,000 for the year, and then your operating grants and contributions for $5.7 million. On the far right column, if you take that deficit number and apply your property taxes and your other taxes such as your franchise and your hotel, 23.7 million for property taxes, 1.1 million in the other taxes. And you also had investment earnings of 1.5 million, so your general revenues were 26.8 million. Applying these program revenues and your general revenues against the expenses for fiscal year 25 resulted in a surplus of $3.8 million. overall, getting back to the balance sheet, the county is in good health. On page 13, you know, most of these bondholders are gonna look at these asset to liability ratios, and they like to see at least a 2-to-1 ratio between your assets and your liabilities, and you have well over that, 44.7 to 16.3 million. As far as working capital, you know, on average, it's taken you guys run about 3 million a month as far as your operations. And you have 17 million in cash, so that's well over 3 months of working capital. So again, that reflects a good financial health. That concludes my presentation. And I'll open it up to any questions you might have.
Good. 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 So we don't have any questions, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Y'all have a good rest of your afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Agenda item number 22. Ms. Lavis, interim county auditor, to discuss take action on bills.
Okay, the bill total is $892,122.62.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the bills.
Make a motion to accept the bills for $892,122.60.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 22? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 23, Commissioners Court. A, announcement by Commissioners Court. B, status updates, information only. Do we have any information to share, Commissioner?
Yeah, I think one important thing to share from our session this week at conference, it's specifically related to your comments, Mr. Number one, counties have no authority to enter into any agreement other than those allowed us by law, which the only one that currently exists is a tax abatement. Number two, there's a lot of information out there. A lot of it's based on past history. A lot of it's taken off the internet, and that's not worth a whole lot, unfortunately. It's not very credible. Fact is, our understanding was that it's all coming from China, Burma, and India. It's not coming from the United States. So that's a problem. We do hear y'all, whether you recognize it or not. We just don't have the authority. We don't have the authority to control water. In many cases, y'all are saying that we're not being transparent, but we are, because basically, we have received no information from Mesa. None. They haven't made an application, I don't think they've even applied for a driveway permit yet, have they? No, they brought nothing to us, so we have nothing to share. We can't say anything, or make any comments, because we don't have any information on it. So until these groups actually come to us with an application, we don't know what they're asking for or what they're going to do. And then again, the only way that we can negotiate that agreement is with a tax abatement, if they ask for it. If they don't ask for a tax abatement, there is absolutely nothing we can do except local permits for floodplain development that we can ask them to do. And Ms. Kibbe's provided several examples of things that we ought to ask for, that we have in our agreement with the Clearport Solar. She made some very good recommendations, and all of those were in our solar agreements, our agreement. And so it's very unfortunate. However, I will tell you this, the positive note out there is that the state, when I say the state, I'm talking about the governor's office and the legislature, apparently in this session are going to adopt something, although we don't know what it is concerning data centers. That's the good news. That's all I know, is that there's something to be proposed there. So I would suggest to you all that you watch that. Anything that gives counties authority to do that. I think every county in the state of Texas would like to have that authority. I don't know, did I leave anything out, guys? Was that?
No, one of the things about those moratoriums that are going around.
Yes.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah. We are not allowed, we cannot create a moratorium. Any county that's done that is subject to lawsuit, and we're not going to go there. I wouldn't vote for it. I can't speak for the rest of these guys, but yeah, moratoriums are, they're, no.
And actually, it's not so
If you-
much
if-
y'all's transparency.
Yeah, come up to the microphone, please.
It's not so much the transparency from y'all, it's that we have people just constantly asking us, what's going on, and of course, they pass the blame around. We know what your position is and what you can and can't do. We're just asking, if you would have more communication with us. But the ones that we are against are these developers, these industrial developers coming in and just turning Wilson County into the armpit of industrial. A beautiful county, it's getting paved over with solar farms and data centers, and just,
Well, those people own that land,
I realize they own that land, but they're affecting their neighbors.
and that's a civil suit.
1,300 people live around that mojo. And a lot of them don't even know about it. They're just people going to school and home and work and taking care of the kids at daycare. And what data center? What are you talking about? I'm not saying it's you, because I've been coming to these meetings enough to know. And I've been studying up on everything. And I know
what you can and can't do. But the transparency, the lack of transparency with these developers, that's what's causing all this problem and breeding the mistrust, and the general public thinks it's you guys, because that's what I thought at first.
And the Facebook page from the group has individuals that are calling us out. And I mean,
And I'm trying not
and,
to,
I mean, but I was given a letter from the group that says we are not political in nature.
right?
And I think that some of your members don't understand what your letter that was sent to me said, and they're not adhering to that stance. I want you to
Got a letter
know,
that came from-
well, I mean, I want you to know that we hurt when we can't take action legally, and we want to because it's in our heart to try to do so. I mean,
Well, I understand that, and I
and-
believe that.
but, you know, I want to, because we're addressing this and it has been brought up, you know, I have a gentleman that I graduated with, and he goes, we want to hear you. I go, I understand. What does that mean to you? You tell me in your own words what you want to see. Well, we want you to take and do something in court. I go, okay. He goes, like, I go, are you going to tell me like San Marcos or like Hill County? Which one of those are you going to use? And he goes, well, both of them. I go, okay, San Marcos is a municipality, and they did not grant a variance, excuse me, not a variance, they did not grant a change in the way the area could be used, okay? They just go, no, we're not gonna change the zoning, and therefore they couldn't build there because the zoning forbade it. With Hill County, I go, my friend, I will bet you $10, $100, $1,000, whatever amount you want, that inside of 90 days, they're gonna get sued. And we were only 2 weeks into that having happened in their court. And it wasn't 30 days, and they are being sued for $100 million, and each of the individual commissioners and the judge are being sued individually because what they did, their own lawyer told them you are probably gonna get sued over this because it's not in state statute. So if we can get people to get the state to change, and we talk to the state about changing, that's our only recourse. We don't wanna
I think
subject the
what the
county.
problem is that they think that you are all for this, and that you're encouraging and incentivizing.
And they've never heard that out of our mouths ever.
But looking at you, that's what I thought. That's what people I talked to thought. It's only been through the process of education and coming and showing up and putting pieces together and trying to figure out who's who. And trying to look in the eye and see, you know, what the truth is. And the general public doesn't know that. And they're gonna point blame at all of y'all.
Because they're listening to the internet, which takes on a life of its own, which, what other countries was it coming
That's how
from?
I learned.
China, Burma, and India.
China, Burma,
Yeah,
and
but
India.
that's ridiculous. There's a,
Well, you know, but they're trying to use,
No, there's a large.
they're using examples from other states, and the state of Texas, as we all know, is different from
in
everybody else.
Wilson County, people are upset about the data centers and the solar farms and the power plants.
And that's fine. You know, they can be upset
That's
about it.
not China.
No,
And they may be getting their information
but that's who's generated, and Pakistan was the other one.
yeah, but they're gonna say that. That's
No,
another
no, no, no,
problem
no, no,
on
no.
the other side.
No, this comes from somebody that.
Well, I haven't
has
seen
been-
that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with, and that's why I've always said is, don't bring me something off the internet unless you bring me the PhD paper that backs it.
I get it all the time. People, they have wrong information, and they'll hear something and then they'll put.
And that's all we're trying to do is correct that information.
And that's what we're trying to do too.
And if we can work together in that regard, I mean, it's, until someone actually shows up here and makes an application to do something, whatever that is, then there's not much they can make an application to the county for. We may or may not know anything about it.
And I remember
They've
that,
been here for a couple of years already looking at what we don't know.
yeah,
So
and
they're
that's how
not
we
those
were blindsided.
But we're in the same boat. I mean, we don't, but we're blatantly accused of having information that we're not releasing, and that is not the case.
And
Everything that we
I agree.
receive is public information.
I agree. But you know, they are coming, and somebody knows something, So that's the problem.
But you said it, but you didn't say it right the first time. Your problem is transparency with the developer.
That's correct. That's what I
And
meant.
that's what you need, that's what you owe.
I was up late last night writing that, and
That's
I
okay.
had like 3 hours of sleep, and that's what I was intending to say, and I tried to edit it.
No, that's okay, that's fine, just so that we understand that
I
we're
don't
doing
think
everything
you're
that we're
having-
legally allowed to do, and we're not gonna put this county in a position that would make us.
We'd just like to know, people would like to know, it doesn't have to be us, but the general public would like to know what's happening. They're like, every day they're asking me, what's going on with the data center?
We would like to know.
And I said, I don't know, and I'm, you know,
My daughter just retired 3 weeks ago from a very high-end governmental agency in Washington DC. That information he just said is true. She has briefed me, and she has a PhD at the end of her name, so I trust her.
but I'm talking about Wilson County.
But it affects everybody in the United States, so.
People don't like this development.
No, but unfortunately, counties have no way to stop it, none whatsoever.
And somebody hinted that there was a way, but, okay, what suggestions, you know, what manner can there be any of this changed, inhibited? I mean, because we just went to a conference, there wasn't any answers there on being able to.
Have a
take
meeting,
this
say you care, say, you know, we're not for this either, or whatever, say something, you know.
But
because people just think
the
that-
reality is it doesn't matter what we tell them.
I think-
If they want to do it, and they've got the money and they're not asking us for anything,
Well, yeah, but I'm.
then there's nothing we can do. Because I'll tell you right now, the general counsel, the senior general counsel, who's been doing this for almost 50 years, has been in every session of the legislature, very adamantly warned us about moratoriums
Right.
and things like that.
I've
I
seen
said, don't go there.
Yeah.
He said, and he's not real optimistic that things are gonna change very fast.
Right.
And so, you know, I mean, it doesn't paint a pretty picture, and we just need to be reality, because, I mean, you've got to ask yourself, well, if I don't have that solar farm or data center, and maybe those two aren't exactly comparable, on that 3,000 or 4,000 acres, well, 4 acres of home on 3,000 acres, there's 12,000 homes with 3 people, that's 36,000 population increase in this county, plus a significant 200 gallons a day per person up to that in water, versus a solar farm that doesn't do any. And the jury is out on what this data center may do or use in terms of water. So,
Well, I think that they hadn't said on their website that they have 2 million gallons a day, and it's free, with the exclamation point. They hadn't said that, that would have cut off a lot of that.
but it's true. If I own that many acres, I own that much in water
But
rights
you see,
too.
coming from the public, it feels bad.
Well, I know it does, but the reality is if I own that and I wanted to farm it and I wanted to put 2 million gallons of water out there, I can do that. So what's the difference between?
People want to have some kind of say in their lives and what goes on around them. I mean, here we are.
And then unfortunately, you gotta move to the city.
I don't
He
know.
owns, he owns the land, we can't tell him what we can do with his land anymore, we can come on your land and tell
We
you.
can't tell people what to do with their land.
No, we can't.
I mean, it should be a moral question of do unto your neighbors, you know? You can't dry up their wells and just ruin the neighborhood.
But do you know that those wells that are permitted for 2 million gallons a day have been permitted for years and years at 2 million gallons? On that farm, on that ranch?
Well, my well went dry, so, I mean, you know,
Now, they're not even
the day we
pumping
found
those,
out
they're
about
not even
that,
pumping those wells.
not yet.
And then they didn't cause your well to go dry.
No, but my well's going dry and we're in the middle of a drought. I mean, people are worried about it. So you're arguing with me.
No, I'm not arguing.
And, well, I feel like you're arguing with me, and that's how people feel. People want to know that you guys have our backs, that you're here for rural people, and not industrial developments, just making Wilson County an ugly place. It's ruining Wilson County. We've got 15,000 acres of solar farms already. I mean, I mean, that's all I got to say, is we just wanna know y'all care.
We care about our county.
I hope so, and
We
it
do.
seems like you do. And like I said, it's not your lack of transparency, it's just, you know, we just hear all these rumors, this is pointing, this is pointing, and if somebody would just say, you know,
Well, there's nothing for us to say until something comes to us.
well, I'm glad you're saying that, because I'm sure there'll be people,
Well,
when
yeah,
I
I
tell
know.
them, watch the video instead of,
Yeah, well, but I mean, some people are here like you, and the rest of them aren't here. And you did say, it's knowing and
very
understanding.
busy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's, that's just the way that it is. It's not a problem until it's their problem.
And they want somebody else to.
And they did it
do a
usually
report
too
of what
late.
happens, and, you know,
Yeah.
say, go yourself, show it yourself. You know, yeah, that's how you learn that it's not you guys that are doing anything, as far
Yeah,
as,
there's nothing for us done yet.
but, I think if you just maybe acknowledge the frustration of a lot of people in Wilson County.
I mean, some of us are frustrated about it. I mean, but the thing is there is absolutely nothing that we can do until one of two things happen. One is that they come and ask us for something. They want to negotiate, and we will negotiate. We will negotiate, we'll take public input.
And we
The other thing
the
is,
history is there. We have taken public input, we have negotiated. And I mean, there was discussion about not having an abatement agreement on the books anymore, so that it would try to discourage them. That is not the right belief. They weren't gonna be discouraged, they were just gonna come in and do whatever they wanted to do. With the abatement program, you at least have some power to negotiate for the citizens to make it a better deal for the citizens. And, you know,
May I make one suggestion that the county can act on?
Come up with
come
a
up with the
solution,
microphone,
please.
please.
There is an organization that you all fund in the county that is closely related to this, and if you don't believe me, you can go to the clerk's office and see how the different real estate people involved with the Wilson County EDC are also involved with these AI centers. You can look at Lina, you look at Moonstone, look at Research. There are a lot of connections that would be broken if you would remove the real estate people. Get rid of that organization for one thing, or remove the people from it who are involved with the data centers. If you think I'm wrong, you can sure go check in the clerk's office.
And that's the reason I told them they need to come brief us. That's the reason I said in the last board, they need to be up here briefing them all this. The
Economic development.
I absolutely agree. There are names that you'll find with Moonstone. One gentleman that's on that has been on both the city one and on the county one. And y'all are funding the county one, I assume. And I don't believe there has been an election that brings any sales tax to them. I don't recall having voted for an election for a county EDC. And I think it's required. Maybe somebody can tell me.
Can you show me the statute where that comes from?
Local government code is 505. It has A's and B's, and I think yours is an A, and the cities in the county each have B's.
That requires us to have an election for that?
But the sales tax, if you're gonna pay
Oh,
the
we're not-
sales tax.
we're not using sales tax.
380.
We don't have a local sales tax here, man. We're one of the few counties that does not have a local sales tax.
Sorry, wrong about that. But didn't we vote on one some years ago?
yes, we did, and it was voted down.
How are they funding the EDCs?
How is it, FEDC,
EDCs, what do you think?
Wilson County? But that's not a sales tax,
Okay, fine, it's not, but you're funding them, and they're,
and we don't want to even mention that. We try to talk about that, and the citizens get upset about that local sales tax.
then I would urge you to go and look in the clerk's office at the connection that the people on that fund, I mean, on that corporation have with AI centers. I guarantee it's there.
Okay. Motion adjourned?
One second.
Hold on.
I was gonna say we didn't, you always want to stop on 1 and 2, and then get to 3 and 4.
There, I found,
I get it, it's 12:05.
very shortly, there is a company that I found at the conference that is no cost to the county, will train our guys how to set up set their men working signs, what the distance is.
Someone text that?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Tetra, it was another, there's no cost to the county. He's willing to come to the county, train, he said he'd like to have 20 to 40 people per class. So that means we'd have to have three.
Shut down.
Yeah, we have only shut down. But, just was asking if any of the commissioners would be interested in something like that, and they will get a, certificate laminated that they can carry in their wallet, that they, somebody said, well, what are you doing putting these men working signs up here, or whatever, like, got certification, I've been trained to how to set up.
Is it like 4 hours?
I think you could do it in 2 days, or you could do it all in 1 day. He's willing to kind of work with us however.
Okay.
That would be something.
I know my guys can use it for sure. Okay, I'll get back to you with more details.
And just to close out, we did have the blessing and rain yet again. It seems like we've got more in the last 3 months than we have the last 3 years. Unfortunately, that plays into our road and bridge system. We just want to encourage the public to take and contact us and let us know if you see something so that we can take and get it on the list to address. And all of our crews are working towards that end.
Very good.
This Friday night alone, we had 2 to 3 inches, depending on where you were in the county, so. At least the sunshine is today.
My old son said he got 5 inches out last week, and the week before, 5 inches out. So that's 10 inches in 2 weeks. There in the Mercury. You agree? I said, really agree. Say. Motion.
Thank you for the opportunity to clear the air a little bit.
No, it's great. I mean, because we can't address your concerns if we don't really know.
And we like to feel like we can come to you for,
Absolutely. You don't have to do it. I mean, everyone of our, suggest if the project's in a certain precinct,
yes,
precinct.
thank you.
Other than that, that's probably the easiest.
And I'm sorry if my,
No.
And just so that you know, if you all have some kind of community meeting, be aware that we all can't come there at one time, because then we have a quorum problem.
right,
So the best place is to come here with us, or individually, we just can't break the rules.
thank you.
Just know that this, with us sitting here talking right now, we created this thing at the end of the report for comments. So when we're in session, we can't sit here and converse back and forth. So when y'all come up here with your comments and we sit here and we get accused of sitting on our hands, it's not a back and forth, it's to listen to your
Public
concerns.
comment is that, it's public comment.
And I'm sorry about that, because I
No,
think you
that's
do
okay. It's a learning
a
process.
good job. You all, I mean, this audience, you wouldn't be sitting here.
There are certain rules and regulations we have to follow, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Whatever.
About a third.
Third.
Motion made by Commissioner Warren, seconded by Commissioner King. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
I was
It
gonna-
is 12:07.
Yeah. Thank you.